What is up, disc golfers? Welcome back to Vlogmas, day 19. What I have on the screen here is the English transcripted version of the interview with Eveliina Salonen that she did on a podcast in her home country. So I will link this at the link in the description below. I would highly advise you go read this. I'm a much bigger Eveliina Salonen fan, and I am rooting for her big time this year because she has some very amazing opinions. That's my thoughts on a lot of the things that she was saying, and she was very open and honest about a lot of the things that her competitors are afraid to talk about. The first issue that I want to talk about that she covered is, should FPO and MPO play the same layouts? Eveliina believes absolutely yes. I've always wanted this, mainly to be able to compare myself to men. In addition to that, she believes that the FPO division is becoming a putting competition where everybody can reach 80-meter holes, and that just comes down to who's the best putter. We all know Eveliina's not the best putter on tour, but she is probably the best thrower on tour, and I believe that if FPO and MPO were playing the same layouts, we would be seeing Eveliina win everything instead of Kristin Tattar. Kristin Tattar is winning everything through her putting, and Eveliina is losing everything through her putting. So I thought that was a really good point. I do agree that they should try to put the women on the same course as the men and see how it goes. I personally don't believe that. Putting the women on a harder course, and so what, they shoot over par, I don't think that devalues the women. I think that the women should, if they want to tackle the same course, I think they should be able to tackle the same course. And I feel like the women that have a fully developed skill set are going to stand out a lot more than they do now. So ultimately, I think that would be a really fun change for us to see for the 2023 season, and I would love to see them try to put the women on the same course just to see how it goes and see how the community takes it in. Another point that she brought up was, she brought up a point about Elaine King that I thought was, kind of interesting, but I also kind of indirectly agree. She said, I was listening to some podcasts, it might have been Ultra World, and they said the FPO has to have its own layout to hit low negative numbers because it looks cool. And when it looks cool, people are more interested. But who is interested in watching those straight 80-meter holes over and over again? And you keep getting these new talents that throw really far, like Ella Hansen and Natalie Ryan, and then the layouts are designed so that someone like Elaine King can be at the top. I think that is not okay. Nothing against King, but she really should not be able to succeed. So Elaine King cannot throw far, and if the holes were longer, she would stand no chance. And she brings up a really good point. In the MPO division, if you can't throw far, you have a 0% chance of winning. So she believes that the MPO division has become a driving competition and the FPO division has become a putting competition. And I thought this was a really, really great take on the current state of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And I would love to see them start to stretch out these FPO layouts so we can really see how talented a lot of these women are, because right now the courses limit the players to 80-meter and 100-meter throws, when some of these women can throw over 500 feet, and most of you probably don't even know that. So I thought that was very valid as well. I really liked that point. So the last part of the video that I want to talk about is what really everybody wants to talk about. I don't think this is actually the best part of the interview, but she did bring up the issue that at Texas State's, one of the holes was too long, and Holly Finley and Missy Gannon complained about it, and the hole was then changed based on their complaints. And I think this is unacceptable from a TD and a course design standpoint. Some players just don't throw far, and they are just not going to be able to get those birdies. I think when disc golfers are shooting 8 to 15 under par in tournament play, I think it makes disc golf look too easy. It doesn't look hard enough. And I think it has quite the opposite effect of what they're trying to go for. I think it makes disc golf look more like a joke when the courses are too easy and everybody birdies everything. I would rather see the players play the hardest courses they can play and see who comes out on top against the toughest possible conditions. That's the state of disc golf that I would find the most entertaining. I want the pros to struggle. I want closer rounds to even par to be gratifying. And I want to see these changes over the next few years where disc golf becomes harder, the Disc Golf Pro Tour becomes more harsh, more competitive, and the players that can't throw far are going to probably fall to the wayside eventually. I know these can be some tough things for some players to hear and to listen to and to think about, but ultimately that's the state that Eveliina wants to see the the sport moving, and I totally agree. I think the women deserve to play harder layouts, and I think we would be a lot more impressed by the skill set if they had harder holes put in front of them. But that's my opinion on that. Comment yours down below. You're watching Iceberg TV, Vlogmas Day 19. Over with, and take care.